Welcome back, everyone. We're reacting to or checking out a new Unearthed Arcana. I say new, I was going to do a reaction to or check out the new Subclasses Part 1 for 2020, and I was just going through it and I realized that I missed the Unearthed Arcana for the Fighter, Rogue, and Wizard that came out at the end of November. Didn't even see it come through, I'd never even heard of it pop up. And usually the videos, like, you see like Davy Chappie and stuff put up videos on similar kind of topics, but I never saw his one, so I just assumed there wasn't one. But just doing it now, so we'll do this, and then tomorrow or the next day we'll have the subclasses up for the fighter, no, barbarian, monk, paladin, warlock, and then there's a few spells and a couple of feats in that one. But this one is just archetypes for the classes for the fighter, rogue, and wizard. Do spells and feats, so that's kind of cool. I'm not sure if the other ones actually had feats, so that's kind of cool for us. See if anything are good. But anyways, let's dive into it. So this document provides subclass options for the fighter, rogue, and wizard, as well as new spells and feats. Obviously, as per always, this is playtest content, so you can't really use it in official games like in D&D, Adventures League, stuff like that. You can use it in your homebrew if your DM allows you and stuff like that, and just more stuff that they want just us to try out and test out, and then go back to them and say whether or not this is broken or if it works pretty good. Stuff like that, and then eventually down the line they might introduce it into books. But let's just dive into it. So first off, we have the Martial Archetype for the fighter. At third level, fighter gains the Martial Archetype feature. Here's the playtest option for that feature, the Psychic Warrior. Interesting. I wonder if this is going to be kind of along the same lines as the I forget what the Arcane Warrior is for the fighter archetype, the current one. I want to say Spell Sword, but I know it's not. I'm just going to say Spell Sword for the moment. Awakening to the psionic power within themselves, a psychic warrior is a fighter who augments their physical might with physically infused weapon strikes, telekinetic lashes, and barriers of mental force. As a psychic warrior, you might have honed your psionic abilities through your own disciplined practice, unlocked it under the tutelage of a master, or developed an academy dedicated to wielding the mind's power as both weapon and shield. You could also say like you were a fighter, got abducted by what are they, the guys who suck out brains. Fuck, I forgot them. The guys from the Underdark. With the tentacles. You know what I'm talking about. It'll come to me in a second. But you could say like you got abducted by them, was experimented on, and that's how you became a psychic warrior and you escaped and whatnot. Be a bit weird if you start at first level and then that's your archetype you go into. But anyways, maybe an option for if you start at later levels. But anyways, so at third level you get psionic armament. So a third and 10th level psychic warrior feature. You can channel your psychic power to magically augment your prowess. When you finish a long rest, choose whether to augment your defenses or your strikes. The chosen benefits last until you finish a long rest. Augmented defenses: when you or a creature you can see within 30 feet of you takes damage, you can use your reaction to roll a d10 and reduce the amount of damage taken by the number rolled. When you reach 10th level in this class, the die changes to a d12. It's not too bad. Augmented strikes: once during each of your turns, when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can also deal 1d4 psychic damage to the target. When you reach 10th level in this class, the damage increases to d6. That is fucking powerful. Once during each of your turns. Like imagine, can you imagine being maybe taking a dip into rogue and getting sneak attacks on this, and then you're dealing normal slashing or piercing, whichever weapon you have as your base, sneak attack damage, possibly other abilities. You could be like poisoned or anything, or you might have other spells that allow you to increase the damage on a hit, maybe like something like some sort of smite, and then having augmented strike, so you're dealing psychic damage on top of it. Like that is potent, because like you get it on each of your turns. That is a lot of damage. So telekinetic hands. And it doesn't say it has to be on your first hit. So say, for example, you could wait to... I wonder, is it a similar case that it's like Divine Smite, that you can use it when you want to? Like you can call it after the hit, or do you have to call it when you're going to hit? That could be an interesting dilemma with that, because like I could see a lot of OP characters made. I have a few rattling in my mind at the moment. But Telekinetic Hand at 3rd level, you learn a Mage Hand cantrip, you can cast it without components, and you can make the Spectral Hand invisible. Intelligence is your spellcasting ability for this spell. Okay, that's not too bad. I don't think there's much that you need for the spellcasting ability with that spell. Maybe that's just setting up what your spells are for future. But from what I can remember, there's not. Unless maybe you try to steal something, you have to use your intelligence as the saving throw. But I always thought it was sleight of hand. Maybe it's sleight of hand for the hand. Anyways, Strength of Mind, 7th level Psychic Warrior feature. As a bonus action, you can telekinetically lash out at a creature you can see within 20 feet of you. The target must make a strength saving throw against a DC equal to 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence mod. On a failed save, the target takes force damage equal to d6 plus your intelligence modifier and telekinetically moved 15 feet directly toward or away from you, your choice. On a successful save, it takes half as much damage and isn't moved. Wow. I'm trying to remember if you have like a polearm master, do you get an attack of opportunity if someone moves into your range? Because if it does, if you go to polearm master with this and just pulling people towards you, that would be lethal. Successful save takes half as much damage and isn't moved. Okay, so regardless, they still take the damage. Okay, it's not too bad. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier, minimum of once, and regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Okay, that's interesting. Telekinetic Bulwark, 10th level Psychic Warrior feature. When you take the attack action, you can forego one of your attacks to project a bastion of psionic power in a 10-foot radius around yourself. It lasts for 1 minute or until you're incapacitated. For the duration, you and all your allies in that area gain the benefits of half cover and have advantage on strength saving throws. Once you use this feature, you can't do it again. You can't do so again until you finish a long rest or until after you use your second win feature. Oh, that's cool. That's interesting. But yeah, geez, that's good. So half cover. Is it half cover or 3/4? Benefits of half cover and have advantage on all strength saving throws. Damn. Well, strength saving throws aren't that great. Like maybe a dex would be better. But even then, saving throws advantage on them is still good. And having half cover, that's pretty much, I think that's +2 to your AC. If I'm not mistaken, it's either 2 or 4. It's 2 or 4, something like that. But still, that's really good. Agonizing Strikes. Your attacks can channel psionic agony. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can also deal 2d10 psychic damage to the target and force it to make a constitution saving throw against your DC equal to 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence mod. Unless the save succeeds, the target falls prone and it suffers disadvantage on ability checks until the end of your next turn. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier, minimum of once, and regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Okay, that's interesting. So unless the save succeeds, the target falls prone. You can also so you deal 2d10, I think, regardless, and then you have to make the Constitution saving throw to determine whether or not they go prone. Wow, that is ridiculous. Yeah, because it doesn't say that they take half damage; it just says they take the damage. Wow. So the thing is, that's another thing, because that could be really potent. Because it doesn't say when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you could also deal. So you don't have to call it, you can do it after the fact. That is bloody crazy. Bloody fighters get a lot of features. With Psychic Dreadnought. The power of your mind suffuses your entire being, making you a nigh unstoppable force on the battlefield. Using your reaction when you take damage, you can give yourself the following benefits for 1 minute or until you're incapacitated. At the start of each of your turns, take 10 hit points. Your walking speed increases by 10 feet. If you're prone, you can stand up by spending 5 feet of movement. Wow. Okay, so like if you using your reaction when you take damage, yeah, and you just regain 10 hit points pretty much unstoppingly. So like you could even say like you could dip into Barbarian or something at like and get two hit points of that if you want to get like at level 18, and then just get like reduced weapon damage against, I suppose, 18th level doesn't really matter at that stage. But still, imagine being able to like regain 10 hit points for a minute and then having a Barbarian dip to get the rage. I wonder what your spells work though. That's an interesting one actually. Interesting. I assume you might not be able to dip those two together because psychic, you're all about psychic, and using your intelligence, and a rage is all about going mindless and just going insane, pretty much. That'd be an interesting one because it doesn't say you can't. I wonder that might be up to a DM discretion. That'd be interesting though if they decide to if someone allowed them to be a psychic warrior and then also dip into barbarian and get your rage feature. So you're an intelligent, raging behemoth of a man that heals damage every turn and has damage reduction against all base attacks. Oh, it'd be so good if this was at 17th level and then you went to 3rd and got your feature and got a totem barbarian. That would be a monstrosity of something to deal with. But anyways, Roguish Archetype. At 3rd level, a rogue gains the Roguish Archetype feature. Here is a playtest option for the feature, the Soulknife. A Soulknife possesses powerful psionic potential. They channel this reservoir of inner magic into tangible blades of psychic energy, striking at their victims' minds. They find easy employment as members of thieves' guilds, particularly sought after as assassins, since their signature psychic blades leave behind no visible wounds. Oh, that's interesting. As a Soulknife, your psionic abilities might have haunted you since you were a child, only revealing their potential when your psychic knives first appeared, or you might have sought out reclusive order of psionic assassins and spent years learning how to manifest your deadly blades. That is sick. That is also incredibly OP. Because if you're like, I'm going to go kill the king, and it's like, you just walk up to him, it's like, how'd you do? And then you do your mind psychic and your man just fucking gets impaled, but no one can see it, and he just dies. Like, what are you going to do? It's like, oh, he had a heart attack. Like, seriously, like, that's crazy. Because, there's no visible blades or anything. Yeah, I could see a lot. This would be a really good class if you went for an evil campaign. Because imagine, being an assassin and getting hired out just to go kill people with your mind, essentially. Because you're not leaving any evidence. Bar you probably having to be within certain range of them. But anyways, so at 3rd level, the Soulknife gets a Psychic Blade. As a bonus action, you can create a magical blade of shimmering psychic power from one of both of your hands. While one of your hands is manifesting a blade, you can't hold anything in that hand. You can dismiss one or both blades at any time, no action required, and they disappear if you're incapacitated. The blade is a simple melee weapon with the finesse, light, and thrown properties, has a normal range of 30 and a long range of 60 feet, and deals 1d6 psychic damage on a hit. If you throw the blade as part of attack, it vanishes immediately after it hits or misses the target. The blade otherwise disappears the instant it leaves your hand. Wow. Okay, so you can see it. Okay, in that moment, but say for example, if you're hiding through it and stab someone in the head, and if you're at higher levels, get your sneak attack and get all these extra bonuses and a critical hit or something, you're going to kill him, and no one's going to see it because there's not going to be any physical mark of where it was, unless it maybe leaves some sort of bruising effect. That'd be kind of a cool thing, maybe of a flavor thing, like you get stabbed in the head like that, then you got a purple kind of patch pop out just from his brain exploding from all the psychic damage internally, but there's no visible cut or scar left. You could do something like that. That could be a cool little thing. Just if you always go half psychic and maybe your eyeballs burst because the psychic is just blowing out your brains. Psionic Enhancement at 3rd level. You can focus your psionic powers to give yourself an extraordinary ability. When you finish a long rest, you gain one of the following benefits of your choice, which lasts until you finish a long rest. You can communicate telepathically with any creature you can see within 30 feet of you. If a creature can speak at least one language, it can respond to you telepathically. Increase your walking speed by 5 feet. Your hit point maximum current hit points increase by amount equal to your intelligence modifier plus your rogue level. Okay. You know what? I don't like these things. I would you had to choose one, and that's what you get. Because I would prefer if you got telepathic at 30 feet, that would be overpowered and everyone would probably go for it, or the walking speed, or the hit point maximum. So I suppose you're probably better off going with the communicate telepathically, but I suppose maybe that what limits it, so you're not going to be just stuck with that. Because I assume everyone will go for it, because that's essentially a message, but free. At 9th level, they get Terrifying Blade. Jeez, there's not much at 6th or anything between 6 or 7, because I usually thought they got something then. Maybe they get a sneak attack and stuff. Terrifying Blade. Your psychic blades can now stoke terror within a target. When you damage a creature with your Psychic Blade, you can force the target to make a Wisdom saving throw DC equal to 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence modifier. On a failed save, the creature is frightened of you until the start of your next turn. On a successful save, the creature isn't frightened and is immune to your Terrifying Blade for 24 hours. Okay, that's not too bad. I suppose, yeah, if you stab them and then they get fear and they run off on their turn and you get a sneak, or not sneak attack, what you can call it, a opportunity strike. Is that what it is? I forget. A reaction strike, whatever it is. Opportunity attack. I can't remember, but it would be a terrifying combo if you had that, and then also had what's the feat that prevents people from moving if you attack them? I forget. But like if they try to move away from you or disengage or anything, you just hit them and they're stuck there, and then like they're forever frightened of you, so you have to keep moving away and you just keep hitting them and hitting them and hitting them. Oh, that'd be terrible. I can't remember the name of the feat though. It's gonna annoy me. Anyways, Psychic Veil. You can weave a veil of psionic static to mask your physical presence. As an action, you can magically become invisible, along with anything you're wearing or carrying, for 10 minutes. This invisibility ends if you make an attack or if you force a creature to make a saving throw. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier, minimum of once, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Okay, so that's kind of it's just like it's a free invisibility spell. Well, it's like the base one. Open for 10 minutes. Okay, so it's maybe an upgraded one, but you get a longer thing. But you can cast spells and stuff, because as long as you don't have to attack them or make a creature make a saving throw. So you could do like free spells to like unlock doors and stuff, and you won't just dispel it, which is kind of a handy thing. At 17th level, we get Rend Mind. You can sweep your Psychic Blade directly through a creature's mind. As an action, while you have at least one Psychic Blade manifested, you can force a creature you can see within 30 feet of you to make an intelligence saving throw, DC equal to 10 plus your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence modifier. Wow, did DC go up? Because it used to be 8. Yeah, 8. I wonder if that's right. Because I know your DC for that would usually be your save for yourself rather than them. DC equal to 10 plus proficiency bonus plus your intelligence modifier. If you are hidden from one target, it has a disadvantage on the save. On a failed save, the target takes 12d6 psychic damage and is stunned until the start of your next turn. On a successful save, the target takes half as much damage and is stunned. One of your psychic blades vanishes after using this feature. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier, minimum of once, and regain all expended use when you finish a long rest. Oh my god, 12d6. I suppose it is at 17th level, but still. Can you imagine? Because like this is an attack essentially. I assume it's an attack. As an action, while you have at least one of you can force a creature. Oh no, you have to see them, so it's not an actual attack. I wonder if sneak attack then go with this. Because technically you could probably attack them and then do this if you stab them and then cause the ability to activate. Okay, interesting. Then we have the Arcane Tradition for the wizards. At second level, a wizard gains the Arcane Tradition feature. Here's the playtest option for that feature: is the Psionics Tradition. So Psionics, wizards study magical power in all of its forms, including the magic of Psionics. Those wizards who follow the traditions of Psionics hone the magical potential of their own minds, sometimes called Psionistics or mentalists. These wizards interact with the multiverse through the lens of their psionic aptitude and awareness. Psionics, Psionists, channel their magic by focusing their minds. By doing so, they can transcend their physical bodies, adopting forms of pure thought, casting spells psionically to bypass the need for components, and perceiving the world with a broader range of senses. As a member of the Psionics tradition, you might have awoken your Psionics potential through the strain of your esoteric studies, or perhaps you joined a scholarly order dedicated to unlocking the magic of the mind. So at second level, we get Psionic Focus. You have learned to channel psionic energy through a special object. Psionic Focus, you gain the object with this feature. See your Psionic Focus sidebar for how you might have acquired the item. While your Psionic Focus is on your person, you gain the following benefits. The object is a spell casting focus for you. When you roll psychic or force damage for any of your wizard spells, you can re-roll any of those damage dice that rolls a 1, but you must use the new roll. Okay, that's not too bad. If your Psionics focus is lost, you can magically recreate it by meditating for 1 hour during a short or long rest, at the end of which the focus appears in your hand. Okay, that's kind of cool. So your Psionic focus, I won't really go into that. It's probably like, how'd you get it? I just had a brain aneurysm and then this book popped in my hand and now I'm a Psionic. So Psionic devotion. Your study of Psionics begins to unleash your mind's potential. When you gain this feature, choose one of the following cantrips: Friends, Mage Hand, or Message. You learn that cantrip if you don't already know it, and it doesn't count against the number of wizard cantrips you know. While your Psionic focus is on your person, you can cast the chosen cantrip as a bonus action, requiring no components and with the modification listed below. When the spell ends, the target doesn't become hostile to you. Mage Hands, you can make the hand invisible when you cast a spell, and controlling the spell is a bonus action for you. Message, you don't need to point toward the target or whisper your message out loud. That's kind of cool. Thought Form, so at 6th level we get Thought Form. While you're carrying your Psionic focus, you can use your bonus action to magically transform your body into pure Psionic energy. The transformation lasts for 10 minutes until you use a bonus action to assume your normal form, or you are incapacitated or you die. Or until you're incapacitated? While in Thought Form, you are a figure of luminous Psionic energy or psychic energy, your Psionic focus hovering within. Your form can appear as anything you wish, but is obviously magical, is the same size as you, and it sheds dim light in a 5-foot radius. Any other equipment you're wearing or carrying transforms with you and melds into your Thought Form. You also gain the following benefits: Psionic spellcasting. While you cast a spell while in Thought Form, you can cast the spell psionically. If you do so, the spell doesn't require verbal, somatic, or material components that lack gold cost. Psychic resilience. You gain resistance to psychic damage and to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage from non-magical attacks. You can transform using this feature a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier, a minimum of once, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Wow. Holy shit. That's essentially, because I wonder, it doesn't say you can move or anything. I would presume you can still move, because you're energy, and you still have your physical capabilities to an extent. You just, maybe you're stuck there until then. But still, that's essentially raging for a wizard. Resistance to psychic damage and to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical attacks. Bonkers. Wow. Okay, yeah, you're basically a pseudo-barbarian at that point. Yeah, because you're pretty much, well, like, I know with totem barbarians, they're resistant to everything bar psychic damage, so it'd be an interesting combo if you could somehow rage and then dip into that and just become pretty much resistant to everything. Mental discipline. When your mind's power expands to greater heights, when you gain this feature, choose one of the following spells: Dominate Person, Scrying, or Telekinesis. You can add the spell to your spell book, and you can cast it without components. You can also cast the spell once without expending a spell slot. After you do so, you regain the ability to cast the spell without a slot when you finish a rest. Okay, that's kind of cool. Empowered Psionics. When you deal psychic damage or force damage with a wizard spell, you can add your intelligence modifier to the damage against one of the spell targets. Kind of cool. Thought Travel. When you're using your Thought Form, you have a flying speed equal to your walking speed and can hover, and you can move through other creatures and objects as if they were difficult terrain. You take 1d10 force damage if you end your turn inside an object. If you return to your normal form while inside an object, you are shunted to the nearest unoccupied space, and you take 1d10 force damage for every 5 feet traveled. Wow. Okay, so yeah, you take some damage, but like it says there, as if you're walk speed, so you can walk in it. That's interesting. Jesus, because you're I won't say you're invincible, but like you're subtly invincible, because like you turn yourself invisible, and then you can have resistance against certain damage types, because like it's not like a barbarian where you have to engage in combat so you don't lose your rage. Well, I suppose yeah, you're getting resistant to damage types as well, so that's bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Psionic spells. Spell selection is part of what defines a wizard and their individual fields of expertise. When creating your Psionics wizard, consider spells that are thematically appropriate for that tradition. Psionics as a theme generally includes spells that do the following: contact or manipulate minds, allow the caster to perceive distant locations or planes, alter perception, move objects and creatures, teleport, deal psychic or force damage. Here's a list of spells that fit these themes, spells marked with an asterisk or spells presented in this document. Okay, that's not too bad. Magic Missile, Silent Image, Tasha's City of Laughter. Yeah, it's not too bad. Spells. Excuse me. Second level, or first level, Thunderous Smite. Hit him with your cane or something. I suppose you could, because you would be able to do it. Well, you wouldn't be able to do it unless you dipped into like a paladin or something. But it'd be a funny little thing. So we have new spells. Mind Sliver, ID, Insunation, Metal Barrier, Mind Thrust, Thought Shield, Psionic Blast, Ego Whip, Intellect Fortress, Psychic Crush. And then these are just the spells. I won't really look through them because you guys might want to look through them at your own stage. But we've already looked at Mind Sliver. And I think Sonic Blast in the last one with the Warlock, that was Psionic as well. So we have new feats as well. Telekinetic, you learn to move things with your mind. You gain the following benefits. Increase your intelligence score by 1 to a maximum of 20. You learn a Mage Hand cantrip. You can cast it without verbal or somatic components. You can also make the spectral hand invisible. As a bonus action, you can try to shove one creature you can see within 5 feet of the spectral hand created by your Mage Hand spell. When you do so, the target must succeed on a strength saving throw, DC 8 plus proficiency bonus plus your intelligence modifier, or be pushed 5 feet away from you. That's kind of cool. Telepathic. You awaken the ability to mentally connect with others. You gain the following benefits. Increase your intelligence score by 1 to a maximum of 20. And you gain proficiency in one skill of your choice from the following list: Deception, Insight, Intimidation, Persuasion. I don't know. It doesn't seem, those skills don't really, like bar Insight, doesn't seem very cohesive with like intelligence. So I suppose because it's telepathic, you're like entering their mind and communicating that way. So that could kind of be interesting. Deception, I suppose all of them are pretty good. Insight, I don't know. I don't know if insight would work inside a person's mind. I suppose if you're inside their mind, you might be able to tell if they're lying or not, or maybe there's certain barriers that pop up. You might say, oh, those usually only pop up when someone's lying or being disingenuous. So that could be interesting. Yeah, so we'll leave these spells. A lot of them look like stuff already in part of the Wizards thing. But yeah, these are kind of interesting. I think probably the coolest one out of the lot might be the Fighter. The Mage is definitely up there, but I think the Warrior definitely gets some features that are kind of interesting. Some of them kind of focus you as a focal point for attacks, like the Strength of Mind. No, the Intellect Bulwark. Then you make the 10-foot radius around yourself, and everyone around you has half cover and has advantage. For me, when I see someone's like going in, like, and you have a bit of what do you call it when you make the Sonic 10-foot radius around you, that makes me think like, oh, Wizard's going to say, oh, everyone's just all together, fireball, or another AoE attack. Although fireball's my favorite, just like, and everyone inside is all nice and crispy and toasty. Especially when they're on strength saving throws, because there's not many that would be. I can't think of many spells that are strength saving. Most are just like Dex and Con and stuff. Maybe Wisdom and Intelligence now and again. Not sure. Definitely for me, Psychic Warrior would be fun. I'm not sure if I'd ever go for these. Maybe dips. Probably the Rogue would probably the one. If I was to take anything, I'd probably dip into that and then dip back out into another class, or maybe into a Bard or something. Because it seems like it has a lot of cross-playing elements to it. Like, it would blend really well. The Psychic Warrior, you kind of feel like you have to go full hog with it just to get all like the expected abilities. Same with the Wizard. Wizard, actually, maybe not, because your last thing is at 16, is it? 14. Yeah, 14. So you could go 14 levels with the Wizard and maybe dip into. Not sure what you dip into. I suppose when you're a 14 level Wizard, you might as well keep going with it, or unless you dip into like 2 levels of Fighter to get armor. Because I know you can cast armor as long as you're proficient with it. I think that's how it works. So I know a lot of people tend to dip into it, or maybe they just pick like a dwarf as their first race because they're proficient with heavy armor. I think they were fishing with it, or some races. It might be the Mountain Dwarf. I can't remember which one it is. But anyways, yeah, sure, I'm rambling now. So we'll end the video there because it's been going for about 30 minutes. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Also, keep subscribed because we'll be updating or uploading the Subclasses Part 1 for Unearthed Arcana 2020 tomorrow, the next day. So just subscribe, hit the bell notification, and it'll pop up when it goes live. Should be around 5 p.m. either on Tuesday or Wednesday. But yeah, subscribe and we'll keep you in the know. All right, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you guys again.